What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp, managing editor, FightfulMMA.com, with news that you expect to drop at about 1:30 a.m. Eastern. Conor McGregor claims that he is retired from MMA again. This isn't the first time you've heard this. It probably won't be the last. He doesn't have a fight in 2019, and if his tweet is to be believed, he won't. Conor McGregor posted a tweet early Tuesday morning announcing his quote-unquote retirement from the sport. He said, quote, "Hey guys, quick announcement. I've decided to retire from the sport formerly known as mixed martial art today. I wish all my old colleagues well going forward in this competition. I now join my former partners on this venture already in retirement. Proper pina coladas on me, fellas," end quote. Now, I don't know if he means that the sport is formally, as in a formal manner, called mixed martial arts, or if he is saying and misspelling that it is formerly known as mixed martial arts because he's not involved. I legitimately have no clue what he means by that, and don't expect to find out anytime soon. Now, the thing about this is Conor McGregor, in an interview that dropped hours ago on Jimmy Fallon's YouTube, was doing some promo for his Proper 12 whiskey and said that he was in negotiations to fight in July. However, he also said that he's set for life. He doesn't have to fight. He's deep into the whiskey game and just has the itch to fight, that he's in shape. This contradicts some of what Fightful was told several months ago, that he hadn't really been training MMA nearly as much. In fact, Becky Lynch had made a bit of a trip there to see SBG, to see Kavanaugh and Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor isn't in that gym very often these days. Conor McGregor obviously has done this before. He had the infamous catches later. Thanks for the cheese. I'm getting out of the fight game early tweet that was almost 3 years ago exactly. I believe it was 3 years ago in April. And of course, he ended up fighting twice that year. Do I expect Conor McGregor to fight twice this year now? No, I don't. I'd be shocked if he fights more than once a year ever again, but that's just my hunch. But if he does indeed retire, he does so as a former UFC lightweight champion and featherweight champion who was responsible for some of the most memorable moments in the sport's history and some of the biggest box office as well. So if he does decide to go, he leaves quite a legacy. And to be honest with you, it wouldn't surprise me to see him become just as famous as a whiskey pitch man as anything else. He had that boxing match with Floyd Mayweather that drew 4.3 million pay-per-view buys in North America. And it was just a pay-per-view juggernaut in a time when a lot of people thought that pay-per-view was going to die. He did 825,000 against Mendez, 1.4 million against Aldo, and people thought it was going to top out there, but it didn't. Diaz and McGregor did 1.5, followed by 1.65, then 1.3 against Alvarez, and then 2.4 million against Khabib, which just shattered every UFC record in existence. Just an unbelievable number that they were able to put together last October. And if they had a rematch, it probably does similar, even though Conor McGregor got the floor mopped with himself. They had that huge brawl afterwards, but, you know, Conor McGregor, people a lot of times forget how good he is. This is a guy who stepped into the UFC, beat Max Holloway with one ACL, stepped in and beat Dustin Poirier. We're talking two guys who are still at the top of the sport. He knocked out Jose Aldo immediately. Jose Aldo is still competing at a high level, despite the fact that he's claiming retirement. He avenged his loss to Nate Diaz. He beat Chad Mendez. A nice career for Conor McGregor. If he does hang it up, I would be surprised if he did. I think the UFC needs him. He does not need the UFC, but with the amount of money that he's going to get to fight, hard to believe that he won't be back. Now, if this is a negotiation tactic, as it quite possibly is, good on Conor McGregor. He probably deserves every cent that he's going to get out of the UFC. And the balance between fighter and company needs to shift. Fighters should be making more money across the board, especially at the higher end. Leave a thumbs up, subscribe. We're going to talk more about this with James Lynch and Showdown Joe Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern on the Fightful MMA podcast. Join us. Until next time. Fightful, subscribe.